You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 15th of December. Despite US tariffs, India's trade gap narrows as exports rise. Pakistani father-son duo behind Sydney beach shooting, reports claim. And India rejects Dhaka's claim on anti-Bangladesh activities. And now for all the details. India's merchandise trade deficit narrowed sharply to a 5-month low of $24.53 billion in November, defying market expectations and underscoring the resilience of the country's export engine. The improvement was driven by a decline in gold, oil and coal imports, alongside a strong rebound in exports, government data showed on Monday. India's overall merchandise exports surged to $38.13 billion in November, while imports fell steeply to $62.66 billion. Exports to the United States, India's largest export destination, rose nearly 10% month-on-month to $6.92 billion, highlighting India's ability to hold ground despite elevated US tariffs. This comes as talks on a broader trade pact are progressing, with both sides expressing optimism. With policy support through tax cuts, export incentives and reforms, India's trade momentum reflects a confident, rising economy navigating global headwinds with strength. And a father and son from Pakistan have been identified as the alleged perpetrators of the targeted attack that left at least 16 people dead and dozens more injured at a Hanukkah celebration at Sydney's Bondi Beach, according to reports. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi strongly condemned the terrorist attack in a social media post and said that India stands in solidarity with the people of Australia in this hour of grief. According to police, the 50-year-old gunman was killed at the scene, bringing the total of number of fatalities to 16. His 24-year-old son remains in critical condition in the hospital. Among the injured are 40 victims, including 2 police officers who are in serious but stable condition. Officials did not speak of the nationality or origins of the attackers, but multiple reports said they were of Pakistani descent. Ahmad Al-Ahmad, a fruit vendor by profession, is being hailed as a hero after he bravely tackled and disarmed one of the shooters. The attack, which took place on Sunday evening, is being described as Australia's worst gun violence in nearly 3 decades. And India has dismissed allegations made by the interim government of Bangladesh, asserting that it has never permitted its territory to be used for actions that harm interests of neighbor. New Delhi's response came hours after Bangladesh summoned Indian High Commissioner to Dhaka, Pranay Verma. Bangladesh conveyed concerns over what it described as incendiary remarks made by former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina from Indian soil. India's Ministry of External Affairs underlined that India has consistently supported the conduct of elections in Bangladesh that are free, fair, inclusive and credible and conducted in a calm environment. Bangladesh is scheduled to hold parliamentary elections on 12th of February, the first national poll since the fall of Sheikh Hasina government in August last year, following widespread protests. The Awami League has already rejected the election dates, arguing that the interim government led by Mohammad Yunus lacks the neutrality required to conduct a fair election.
MI-17.
And political activist Amjad Ayub Mirza has alleged that elected institutions in POJK are merely symbolic, with real power controlled by Pakistan as public anger grows over economic distress and exploitation of the region's resources.
Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir may have a legislative assembly, prime minister and president, but political activist Amjad Ayub Mirza says these institutions hold no real authority. Commenting on the appointment of POJK's new PM Faisal Mumtaz Rathore, Mirza alleges that all decisions are controlled by Pakistan's prime minister and military, leaving POJK's elected setup powerless and symbolic.
This
powerless legislative assembly basically is symbolic to show the world that look, we have given the Kashmiris the right to govern. But how are you going to govern if you are not given the powers to govern? So it is a hoax, it is a fraud, and this assembly has no powers, the Prime Minister has no powers, and the President has no powers, and the people know that. People on the ground, they know that whatever kind of legislative assembly or government Pakistan desires in POJK, they will manipulate and they will bring a new Prime Minister, like in the case of Rathore.
Mirza says public anger in POJK has intensified since Pakistan suspended trade with India in August 2019, cutting off access to cheaper food supplies. He alleges residents now face shortages, poor quality wheat, unreliable electricity, and continued exploitation of POJK's natural resources by Pakistan, triggering repeated protests and strikes.
It's Pakistan and the Pakistan military who control our rivers, they control our forests, they control our rare earth minerals, everything. And every day, scores of trucks, loaded with wood or coal or lime and other minerals are smuggled into Pakistan on a daily basis. And there is no check on that. Nobody can raise a finger that why is this happening. Now, we have to understand the basic difference between Jammu Kashmir, which is with India, and POJK is that Jammu and Kashmir is treated as part of the body of Union Republic of India. It's part of the whole, Indian existence. But we in POJK, we are treated as a colony. So what do you do with a colony? You loot them, you plunder their resources for the benefit of the ruler. This is what is happening.
And in a pivotal movement for Nepal's political landscape, tens of thousands gathered this past weekend in Bhaktapur to rally for CP and UML, marking a display of support for the party of former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. The rally, attended by an estimated 70,000 participants, was the largest since the youth-led anti-corruption Gen Z protest that forced Oli out of office 3 months ago. Oli, who is seeking re-election as the UML president, told the rally that the dissolution of parliament was unconstitutional and that his party was being unjustly portrayed as anti-youth.
भदौ 23 गते शान्तिपूर्ण बनिएको प्रदर्शन हिंसात्मक हुँदा सिर्जित दुखद परिणामप्रति गम्भीर हुँदै तत्कालीन गृहमन्त्रीले राजीनामा गरिसक्नु भएको थियो। त्यसै दिनको मन्त्री परिषदको बैठकबाट त्यस घटनाको छानबिन गर्न पूर्व न्यायाधीशको नेतृत्वमा आयोग गठन गर्ने निर्णय पनि भइसकेको थियो। असामान्य परिस्थितिप्रति सरकार गम्भीर र संवेदनशील थियो, तर राज्य विरुद्ध आक्रमणको योजना बनाएका तत्त्वहरूलाई यी कदम पर्याप्त थिएन।
Oli is facing a leadership challenge from the senior vice chair Ishwar Pokhrel. Both factions are competing for the upcoming election of party office bearers. The rally, which marked the opening of a 3-day convention, was held at a time of deep unrest in Nepal following the September Gen Z protest, which saw 77 lives lost and over 2,000 injured. The protest was sparked by frustrations over corruption and government mismanagement and culminated in the dissolution of parliament under Oli's leadership. Moving on, Indian artisans are elated as their Kolhapuri sandals are set to transcend national popularity after Prada announced to partner with local craftsmen for limited edition sandals. The Italian luxury group plans to make 2,000 pairs of the sandals in the region of southern Maharashtra and Karnataka under a deal with 2 state-backed bodies, blending local Indian craftsmanship with Italian technology and know-how. Prada had faced criticism 6 months ago after showing sandals resembling the 12th century Indian footwear at a show in Milan. Photos went viral, prompting outrage from Indian artisans and politicians. Prada later admitted its design drew from ancient Indian styles and began talks with Artisan Group for collaboration.
हम प्राडा मार्केट में आने से हम नेशनल लेवल पे सीमित थे। प्राडा की वजह से हम लोग अभी इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे गए और जो भी अभी प्राडा की वजह से होगा ये धंधे के लिए अच्छा ही है, धंधा बढ़ जाए।
और प्राडा ने इंटरनेशनल ब्रांड तैयार किया है हमारे कोल्हापुरी चप्पल का, इसलिए हम भी हाउस ऑफ कोल्हापुरी चप्पल में चप्पल लेने के लिए आए और हम भी क्यों ना पहने कोल्हापुरी चप्पल और यूज ना क्यों ना करें।
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.